What up, world? It's a Big Fact Show. Your boy Mark Waldo Ward. We got a special guest today, the legend, Yukmouth. How you doing today, brother?
What's poppin' with it, Playboy? Thanks for having me.
Shit, no doubt. Thanks for joining me. You know, this is the fourth time I interviewed you, but this is the first time I ever seen you. You was the first person I ever interviewed on the phone when I was first getting in the game, when I was blogging for Drinking Dank. And you know, every time I'm about to do one of these, I can't get the song out of my head to be like, it's Yukmouth. It's Yukmouth.
Good shit, my nigga. Good shit, man. Yeah, we small world, man. We go back like Wavecast, my nigga. So it's glad to be on this motherfucker again. You feel me?
And yes, sir. Speaking of going back, but still keeping it current, I see you got a new album out with California Brome, but even better, speaking of good things, you got a Cool G rap verse on there that's pretty phenomenal.
Oh yeah, man, that Brome album, me and Brome shit got 40, got fucking Cool G rap on that bitch. I think we got a few more other motherfuckers on that thing, but that thing nice, man. I'm trying to wait for him to drop it. He dropped it single by single. I'm like, drop that album, my nigga. That motherfucker nice, man. So yeah, that I don't know what he calling the motherfucker though, man. But yeah, the motherfucker nice, man. We got like 12, 13, 14 slappers. Definitely, man. So I can't wait for that to drop. Shit. Shout out my nigga Brome.
You know, one thing I've always admired about you that I don't think is credit, you know, all the way back to like, you know, Tech Nine and the regime, you've always been like this conduit for people. Like you've always had this, you bring them to the game. I mean, you do these joint albums with like Gatlin, not saying that you brought them to the game, but you bring them to like, you know, a release cycle and everything. You show them how to move, and, you know, some of them end up making a couple good songs in 2012, and some of them end up being one of the biggest independent artists ever. But I don't think you get credit for how many people you've helped as artists without like leeching onto it, like actually as a force multiplier.
Well, me, man, when I help people out or when I fuck with people, it's because I like their crap. So it's not really like me trying to get no brownie points for the shit. You know what I mean? It's just like I like them. They dope. And I feel like, you know, probably the world don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put them on. You know what I mean? I'm going to put them on my shit, and hopefully the world will get to, you know, peep what I see in them. So that's what I do a lot of times. So I don't be like all on people's shit like, oh, do this for me and shit. I'm already there. I'm good. You know what I mean? I want to help them out. And if I can help them do what they did or help them get to where they are now, then, man, that's great. You know what I mean? But I don't look for no reward for it. You know what I mean? They know what's up. You know what I mean? So that's all I need. As long as they know, you know, I got love for them, I'm good, you know?
I mean, that being said, though, that's a little humble. Do you feel that Smoke a Lot as a company is underrated? I mean, it's been many things that you were ahead of the game of. Like, y'all had more online first before people. Independent CDs available online before people that were getting, you know, put in mom and pops and FY. I remember seeing some of them at FYE.
Yeah, we was doing it, man. Smoke a Lot. I had the first joint venture deal with Rap a Lot, so my shit was everywhere when I was doing them United Ghettos, them Sebos, I mean them Thug Lords and shit like that. So yeah,
I mean, you could capitalize on like iTunes and all that, though. You know,
yeah,
like,
DVDs and all this shit.
You're adapted to many things.
So shout out to J.Prince for even giving me the opportunity to do the Smoke a Lot imprint over there. But I learned a lot, you know what I mean? And I just took that with me when I left and continued to do my thing. Got a deal with Gazi, got some deals over there with RBC, Rap Bay, you know, you name it. Even did some shit with Walk, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just learned how to do the independent game, fuck with Rap a Lot, and just you know, kept it going, you know, after I left. But basically, yeah, Smoke a Lot, it is underrated, but we contribute to a lot of people, you know what I mean? And we helped a lot of people in the game. Like, so people would say, like, what artists did you put out? Who you put on? This, that, and the third. The regime, my nigga. A lot of motherfuckers you wouldn't hear in the regime if it wasn't for Yukmouth and Smoke a Lot Records. You know, a lot of people that was lost in the sauce that people wasn't even fucking with. You know what I mean? They found out or they got reinvented through the regime. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know what I mean? The regime. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all favorites come from the regime. You know what I mean? And them motherfuckers at the top of the game. So, and it ain't that whatever they grind wasn't there, or their talent wasn't there that was gonna get them to the top, but I was a part of it. I'm part of the history. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I've done a lot. You know what I mean? So I never wanted to be the nigga with people signed to me because I was an artist, you know what I mean? And I knew how them deals was being fucked up. So when I did shit with the regime or anybody else, we'd do a joint venture, partner up, 50-50. So I never wanted to have nobody under contract, you know what I mean? So that's why it's like, oh, you ain't got no smoke, a lot of artists, this, that, and the third, because I never wanted, I do partnerships with my people. So that's the difference between me. Everybody want to put these niggas in these slave contracts of 5 years and 3 years, this, that, and the third. I don't want to do that. So, you know, I do joint ventures with my peoples, and that's how we run it. Smoke a Lot Records.
Yeah, speaking of Lost in the Sauce, your discography is amazingly deep, and I think there's a lot of shit that gets overlooked. Like, for instance, you got this Regime Last Dragon album that's only on that Piff that I don't think that many people know about. I remember the $1 Million Game mixtape. I mean, United States Girls of America. I mean, it's so many. Which of your albums do you wish that had got a little more shine?
Probably I think United Girls of America. I think those was the ones, you know what I mean? The ones that had Mac Dre, Keep the Sneak, everybody on it. The Jack, you know what I mean? Ryder J. Clyde, you know what I mean? That part two. That part two was crazy. Part one was nice, but that part two was bananas.
You know what I fuck with so hard on there? I want to hear if you could tell me the story about how it came to be. The Desperado joint. Live the life of a desperado. That shit was, that sample was so hard, and then the
that's one of the joints, man. My homie Nan Dog from San Diego made the beat, so he had this sound that sound like Mike Dean. So I would employ him, you know, do a lot of my tracks. You know what I mean? When I wasn't getting tracks from Mike Dean, just to keep the same type of style going. Right. So yeah, you can hear that like in the beat that it sound like a Rap-A-Lot beat, but it's not. It's a dude from the West Coast. So we did that in the crib. I had the studio at the crib. Noble came to the crib. I had the singer. I made the hook, and I no. Yeah, I made the hook. That's right. I made the hook on that one.
So I made the hook. Sample. Damn, that's what's up. Shit, salute.
Yeah, I made the hook, and then I had the girl. It was this Mexican chick. I had her sing it. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then she had sing another one too, like Costa Nostra. So she sung two that night. She sung La Costa Nostra and she sung Desperado. You know, La Costa Nostra came out later on, but she had sung Desperado on La Costa Nostra the same night. So yeah, we did that at the crib, man. House studio and shit. Me and Noble burned it down and got busy. You know what I mean? Noble, my nigga from the Outlaws, we've been rocking many moons. You know what I mean? That's my dude. You know what I mean? And when it comes to lyrical shit, man, I always respect his pen. It's nigga, he dope to me. Dope as fuck with the lyrics, the bars. So I always call him up a lot. You know what I mean? Crooked Eye, niggas like that with the gas. You know what I mean? Tech Nine, you know, Appuccino, niggas with that gas, I called him a lot. And Noble was one of them niggas that I call a lot. So I needed his assistance. On the Desperado, I had that outlaw type of sound, Tupac type of sound. So I'm like, yeah, I need an outlaw on here. So I got my nigga Noble.
Yeah, y'all definitely got your storytelling on. You know, something I find to be revealing or interesting is a lot of times, like, you know, a rapper come in the game and you know, you got your rapper name or whatever, right? But then the next name can be a little more interesting, like Sweet James Jones or Method Man with the Iron Lung. And I was always curious about what about Godzilla appealed to you so much?
Oh man, shout out, rest in peace to my homie D Nice, man, from the Rolling 60s, man. So that was the thing that he brought up, you know what I mean? Like, we was always talking about doing it big, and he's like, man, fuck that, you Godzilla, man. You always do it big. So he always called me Godzilla, you know what I mean? And we just started saying every time we did it big, it's Godzilla, just be the slang word. Just around us, our crew, the regime. And then shit, I decided to make the Godzilla album, you know what I mean? The song, everything, and it just became a movement for me, you know what I mean? Period. So I'm still Zilla to this day. I start my rhymes off with Zilla. You know what I mean? Flame on, nigga. So, in remembrance of my nigga that made the phrase, D Nice, I just keep that alive. You know what I mean? Made the album. Maybe he was alive when I made the album. You know what I mean? But after that, he passed away. You know what I mean? So I just kept the shit going. You know what I mean? I'm coming with Godzilla 2. You know what I mean? Godzilla album part 2, man. But yeah, we've been keeping it big, Godzilla. So it's a little slang word we were saying around the studio and shit. I'm pulling up in foreigns and shit, Range Rovers and Benzes and shit. You know what I mean? Jeweled out Rolexes and shit. So they're like, you Godzilla, you do it big. So yeah, my nigga D Nice made up the phrase. He coined it. You know what I mean? He made up the phrase, but I coined it.
Shit. Yeah, you coined a lot of things. I remember the last time I talked to you, you told me you made up Uncle Face with Scarface.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I was the first one.
And that's how Vlad asked you about it 3 weeks later.
Right, yeah. I called Face Uncle Face. A lot of shit, man. A lot of my code names and niggas is used. Like I called Mac Drake Denzel Washington on United Ghettos when we was doing the Welcome to the Bay song in the studio, and then shit. Next thing you know, his next album is called Denzel Washington. So I coined a lot of shit, give a lot of code names and shit, and people like it. You know what I mean? And roll with it. You know.
Now, speaking of liking and roll with it, what's it like to see I Got 5 on it getting played in NBA games?
Oh man, that shit is lovely, man. Like that shit is amazing. Like it just let us know, like, yo, we made a classic, because for that shit to be getting played 20-25 years later, you know what I mean, it still feel like it's been, you know what I mean, first played and people still appreciate it. It's dope, you know what I mean? It's like, that's a legendary song, man. I'm glad that I made it. I'm glad that I'm a part of it, you know? Just being a hip hop dude, a rapper, all you want is one of those. Some that they will remember you by, either a Grammy or platinum hit or some shit like that. You want to be remembered. That's what you in this shit to do. It's like a boxer. You want a belt, you know what I mean? So when you get that belt, you know what I mean? It's the most satisfying feeling, you know, being an artist. So I love it, man. You know what I mean? To let us know that we did our thing.
Did you feel like you were being brave when you released that song? Because it wasn't like weed was societally acceptable. I mean, like I've been to prison for weed. It's not like weed was, you know, all to the good in public at the time.
Right. We had to
switch the whole country singing that shit on the radio.
Yeah, we had to switch it up. We had to clean it up and do all types of shit. Switch the weed and, you know, grab your phone, let's get keyed and all that. We had to like switch all the shit up, you know what I mean, to make it radio friendly. So we did all the shit that we need to do to make it playable on the radio. And when we did say smoking weed, the word was blanked out. You know what I mean? The weed word was blanked out, or the endo or whatever we used to describe it. So yeah, we had to blank out shit. You know what I mean?
I think though, like I was in DC, right? And I think they didn't know some of the words that you use for weed, and some of them slipped through. And we definitely caught the drip, you know what I mean?
Right. So we had a lot of slang words in there that they missed too. You know what I mean? So they're letting a lot of that shit go. But yeah, we had to disguise a lot of shit. But yeah, we had to blurb out a lot of shit too to make it, you know, clean to go on the radio. But when we first made that motherfucker, we made it in 93. Now, we didn't drop that shit to 2 years later in 95. It's same shit, the same words that we made in 93. We, you know, dropped the same shit in 95, besides when we had to switch it up and do the remix and, you know, do the clean version for the radio, but it was basically the same shit. For us to hold on to that song and know that we got one, we can't just frisbee this one out into the streets, because we was dropping shit with Drew Down at that time. So we was ready to drop this on Drew Down album, or, you know, our next, this was our first song rocking on our first, you know what I mean, Looney's working on their album after we worked on Drew Down Fools from the Street. Now it's time to work on Looney's album. Our first song, we made 5 on it, period. So we tucked that. And then we do the rest of the songs. That's the song that got the tape that got the motherfucking Condom Man on it. Right. And they got the songs with Sugar T on it and shit and all that. So that's that tape. But we kept 5 on it off of that tape. You know what I mean? And then when we got the deal, we already had 5 on that hit already. You know what I mean? So they spiced it up, made us spice it up for the radio. They put the machine behind that bitch, and shit, it is what it is today. Shout out Virgin Records, you know?
But you told me when you was making the album, or specifically when you was making If I Have a Ball Again, you know, you was questioning your finances as an artist. And I'm curious, you know, all these years later, you know, that story, I remember you told me about how you got the Rap-A-Lot check and it motivated you and everything. And I wonder, what was the moment that you realized, like, yo, I ain't gonna have to do nothing else with my life but make this music?
Shit, when I made that song, man, period. If I Have a Ball Again, like I said in the story, I was going through it, you know what I mean? Rap-A-Lot came with that check. Nigga, we was in the lab. I did my 1-2, but at that time, I didn't know I didn't know I was getting pimped and milked. You know what I mean? Like, I was paying for studio time for studios that cost shit $1,000 a day. I'm paying for videos that cost $100,000. You know what I mean? $120,000, shit like this.
Because you get not knowing that videotape and shit back then, right?
They doing real production. Like it's you know, you could pull your. They got big ass shit that stand on tripods, not no shit and shit on their shoulder like the news, not no little fake ass shit. So we got trailers and shit, you know what I mean, and big shit, lights and shit, all types of shit, rent buildings and shit, everything. So yeah, so I'm getting taxed like an artist. They don't know that when you get these budgets, like they say, oh man, he got 2 million, he got 1 million. Yeah, you got to pay that shit back. It's a loan. So once I realized that all this shit was a loan, I start getting the kickbacks. You know what I mean? So if a nigga want to film my video, instead of him giving a kickback mean the extra money that they make. A video don't cost no 120,000. They could pull that motherfucker off for 30,000 and pocket the rest. You get it? So that's called a kickback. Now the kickback was going to a nigga at the record label. I found that out quick, the A&R. So I started telling the video niggas, man, I'm not gonna hire you for my video unless I get the kickback. Oh, okay, Yukmouth, fuck that. We're gonna give you the kickback. We need this money. I mean, I cut the middleman out. And then as far as the studio, I made a studio. I bought studio equipment, everything. I made a studio on my crib. And I started taxing the record label for studio time instead of, you know what I mean, me paying another studio. So I figured out how to make money out the shit, you know what I mean, and kept making money out the shit. Merch, you know what I mean, mixtapes, DVDs, all the other shit where I could make side money and just kept it going. So yeah, just being in that type of pocket, I never want to be in that pocket again. So I stepped my hustle up on every level beyond rapping, as far as just the whole industry, you know what I mean, and where I could get this money, you know.
How did you meet J.Prince?
Being on the same record label, you know what I mean. We was on the same record label, Virgin.
Virgin New Tribe, right?
New Tribe, the subdivision of Virgin New Tribe. Shout out Eric Brooks. Yeah, we was on the subdivision of Virgin Records, was called New Tribe, and they gave Rap a lot of joint venture. We assigned as artists. So in LA, we'll be working in the same studio together. We using the same producers. They using our producer, Tone Capone. We using their producer, Mike Dean. And you have them studio sessions where the whole Rap a lot is in there, including J.Prince, you know what I mean, out here in LA on the Scarface studio session. And we got these studios, like it's a whole building, different rooms going called the Enterprise. And we in different rooms, you know what I mean, going down. So there'd be a Scarface room. And then when Scarface done rapping and Mike Dean and them mixing or whatever, they'd come in my room. And, you know, the Looney's room is, you know, chill with us. So that's how I start, you know, mingling with J.Prince, just in studio time, being in the studio with Scarface and Mike Dean and them.
Do you remember what Scarface album it was?
Untouchable. Yeah, the Untouchable album. Yeah,
so you was hearing that being made? Good Lord, that must have been something.
Yeah, because our producer, you know, they had joined up with Mike Dean, and Tone Capone and Mike Dean made that whole album together, joint production. So when they were doing joint production on that, they doing joint production on a Looney album too. You know what I mean? So that's how I met J.Prince face to face, and that's how he see my work ethic, and gave me a solo deal. You know, I was a group. I wasn't thinking about going solo. You know what I mean? And then our executive producers weren't thinking about giving us solo deals neither. So J.Prince brought it to the table like, nigga, you're doing everything. You need to have a solo deal. You need to be a rapper. Like, once he said that, I was like, yeah. But it took a lot of, like, he already had ties in my neighborhood. Rest in peace, Seagram. You know what I mean? So he already had niggas from my neighborhood in Ville, and he's open, signed over there and working at Rap a lot. So we already had ties. Like, my neighborhood had ties, not me. You know, so niggas from my neighborhood was getting in J.Prince ear too. Like, yo, get at Yuck. And I was on Seagram album. You know what I mean? So he heard about me, you know what I mean, to finally just sign him the nigga, you know?
Oh yeah, we talked about Seagram a few times, man. Definitely RIP Seagram.
Rest in peace to the big homie, man. That's my nigga, man. I wouldn't be on Rap a lot if it wasn't for him. Like, they was the first thing that had to. What'd you say?
Is his music on Spotify? It needs to be.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's on iTunes. Mm-hmm.
I know. I got a couple of the CDs, but them shits was like $80 on eBay. They're expensive, but yeah,
them classic CDs, check out, boy. Seagram. Shit, try to buy a Thugged Out the Appalachian. That shit every bit of $40, $50, nigga. I'm like, ooh, they getting over on goddamn eBay.
Yeah, word.
But yeah, man, that's how I met J.Prince and got signed to Rap a lot, man.
You know, I don't really get into no negativity here, so I don't want to get into no Master P shit, especially since that's all love. But I was always curious how Fifth Ward Boyz ended up on the Ice Cream Man song.
Oh man,
I think my label. Fifth Ward Boyz super underrated.
No, that's my label mates, man. Shout out E-Rock, shout out all them niggas, man. That's the niggas.
Pussy, Weed, and Alcohol, all-time great song.
Yeah, that's the niggas who I was hanging with when I was in Houston. When I go to rap a lot, I'm hanging with Ward Boyz. I'm hanging with Devin the Dude. Who else I'm hanging with out there that's really fucking with us on that level? Yeah, fucking the Snipers, you know what I mean?
Were you ever hang out with Pimp C?
Pimp C was locked up. You know what I mean? He was locked up. But when Pimp got out, I was fucking with Pimp too. But Pimp was like really hanging with J.Prince a lot. You know what I mean? Like him and Jay was like, you know what I mean? Sun and moon, nigga. Them niggas was together all the time. But yeah, that was our little get high clip, basically. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had them niggas on the song because them niggas was always in the studio while I'm recording. So yeah, let me get the Fifth Ward Boyz on this motherfucker, you know? And they legendary to me, you know what I mean? Like before I even came to rap a lot, we fucked with the Fifth Ward Boyz in my neighborhood. The Convicts, you know what I mean? Big Mike and what's his name? What's his name? Bro that died.
You got me.
God damn.
I mean, I remember the Convicts. Man,
Convicts, but what's the other name? Big Trey Deuce. What's the nigga name that died? Anyway, so we was all on that. 3-2. 3-2, Mr. 3-2.
Down with UGK and all them.
So we was on 3-2. You know what I mean? Fuck with that, all that shit. So 3-2 from UGK. The nigga that was with anyway, nigga that was with the Convicts, Big Mike, first rap partner. Was that 3-2?
I don't know. You got me on that one.
Okay.
The Convicts never came out in DC. Like Fifth Ward Boyz as deep as it got.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we was already on the Fifth Ward Boyz. You know what I mean?
You know, first time I heard Big Mike was with when they put him in the Ghetto Boys for Willie D spot for that one album.
Oh man, we've been on Big Mike, man. Something serious, all that shit, man. But we've been on Big Mike since the Convicts, man. He been dope. So yeah, man. So them niggas was legendary in my neighborhood, Fifth Ward Boyz, man. So yeah, definitely had to have them niggas on there, man. And as far as the ice cream, man, that's right when Master P had did it. So I just wanted to make another song, just you know what I mean, keep the legacy going and shit, talk that shit, you know what I mean. But yeah, it wasn't nothing like the to disrespect Numb or Drew, you know what I mean. I could have had them on the remix, you know what I mean, and did it again, but. Them my niggas, Fifth Ward Boyz, niggas mob is rap a lot, so I put them on the song.
So what's next this year? Just promoting the Cadillac Brougham album. You got plan ain't release plans. You waiting for see how the COVID shit shake out. I know it's harder for y'all to work out in Cali, right?
Man, I've been talking about this me and Pete Rock shit for over years, so I think I'm gonna finally put it out this year. Like I'm just trying to wait for shit to open back up. A lot of people been putting out amazing albums, but because of COVID, they ain't really been able to be accepted properly. You know what I mean? They in and they out. Like we done had some great albums this year. So I didn't want my shit to get lost in the sauce like that. You know what I mean? So especially a Yuck and Pete Rock album. You know what I mean? I want that shit to land. You know what I mean? And us to be able to get out and touch the people when the world open back up a little bit. So
yeah,
trying to wait.
That's New York, California. Those like the two most shut down places.
Right. So, but we can still travel. You know what I mean? I've been doing fucking shows all through the pandemic because of 5 on it. All the cannabis clubs is open. So we've been doing cannabis club tours, like literally performing and shit. They set up the stage outside in the back, hella people. Yeah, we've been doing that motherfucker like the whole time. So y'all could get us some money. You know what I mean? It's just it needs to open up more than cannabis. Be more than like we need the backpackers, we need the thug niggas, and the audience that we going for. We need them to pull up too. You know what I mean?
So, all that, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna do that right. You know what I mean? So Crack Rock should be dropping this summer definitely when shit open up. Me and Sibo, Spice One working on the Thug Lords album. I got the comic book, The Legend of Yukmouth, the soundtrack. We're doing a full soundtrack. It came out like with an EP with the comic book. We're doing a full soundtrack with more features.
Is the comic book
more
out?
Songs. Huh?
Is the comic book out?
The comic book is out. You know what I mean? You can get that at versecomics.com, right? versecomics.usa.com right now with the EP. But we're making a full soundtrack to that motherfucker. And we're going to re-put it out, you know what I mean? To where we could just have it. Because the EP is only downloadable. It's not even on iTunes. So none of the music is out. So we're about to put the music out on iTunes and shit so the people can have it, put videos and shit out for that shit. So that should be like all next month. And
what's the comic book about?
The comic book is out. The comic book came out like a couple months ago.
And I said, what's it about?
Oh man, it's dope. You gotta go check it out, man. It's some dope shit. You know what I mean? It's some dope shit. I can't just give you the description, man. You just gotta go check it out. Check it out, check it. But yeah,
the game is to be sold, right?
Nah, man, the game is told too. Here that motherfucker go. We ain't over here wishing. Here that bitch go right here. The Legend of Yukmouth. We ain't here giggling and pooping, baby. This official tissue, baby. Yeah, 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 nigga ain't just shooting a nigga to live this shit, boy. Hey, baby. Hey, yeah, this official tissue, man. So yeah, go get that right now. The Legend of Yukmouth, man. Period, man. That's out. Period. Yeah, go grab that. Burst Comics USA, baby. Yeah, man. Yeah, so niggas be talking about shit.
That's a legit comic book company too. That ain't no.
Oh yeah, that's Burst Comics, man. They did the comic book for Ha Davis. You know what I mean? They got hella other like novel type. They a novelty type comic book. You know what I mean? Type of, you know, they do the novelties and shit. So my shit is the novelty. You know what I mean? So it's like one of the ones you just read and just keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper and doper and doper. So yeah, we come with the part 2. You know what I mean? Another soundtrack. So I'm gonna be the first nigga that drop comic books that come with a soundtrack. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You gonna do a book?
Definitely, man. What'd you say?
You gonna do a book?
That's coming eventually. I was thinking about this year, but probably next year when I slow down. I just got too many projects to work on as far as lyrically.
I mean, you should, bro. So, like, there really ain't too many aspects of the culture you ain't touched on across multiple decades now. And you still young, so
yeah, the book is definitely next. You know what I mean? And the book got to be so dope that I wanted to set up a movie. You know what I mean? So I got to take time with this because this book like includes everybody. You know, I'm involved with so many people. You know what I mean? From the East Coast to the Midwest to down South to the West Coast to the story. So many celebrities and superstars and shit. It's ridiculous. And street niggas. So it's going to be a dope ass book. You know what I mean? Super dope ass book from the streets to this industry shit. It's going to be lit. It's going to be dope, man. So niggas definitely going to want to make a movie. Somebody, they going to see this shit like, Lord. Lord.
I'm sure, brother.
This New Jack City, Crest Groove, paid in full. and goddamn the show and one shit, nigga. Yeah, man, shit. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be dope, though, man. So, yeah, I'm going to put it together, man. And shout out J.Prince for him even writing his book. That's what really made me want to write the book, The Art and Science of Respect. You know what I mean? That motherfucker is so vivid and so dope and written so, you know what I mean, to where you could really read it and understand. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So shout out to him and Julia Beverly for doing that one nice. So, yeah, I'm going to get a dope-ass writer, sit down with him, and we're going to go, period.
Oh, I know Julia Beverly has something. She did a Pimp C book too, right?
I don't know that, but she did a little J book. She did a J.Prince book. So she dope. Like she had the whole magazine shit. So she knows how to, you know what I mean, do
for sure.
Editorials and shit. And yeah, she know how to do that shit. So it's dope that he linked up with a professional. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Julia Beverly. You know, you just spoke on how you've been exposed to all these different movements in different times. Who are some of the people that the first time you heard them, you knew it was undeniable?
Tech 9.
Yeah.
When I first heard Tech 9, I knew that nigga was undeniable. Period. Now I heard him. We was working with QD3 on our second album, Lunatic Music. So QD3 doing a song called Why Do Thugs Cry? And we making a song about Tupac dying and shit. It's right after Tupac died, literally. And Tech 9 is there, you know what I mean, at the crib. So QD3 got the, QD3 is Quincy Jones' son.
Right.
You know what I mean? Quincy Jones III. So this Quincy Jones' son, now this nigga was doing production for Pac when Pac was alive. So we wanted to get somebody that did, you know, production for Pac to do this dedication to Pac. So he was, Tech 9 was his artist, well, his father's artist. He was signed to Quincy Jones at the time, and he was living with QD3. So we working in the studio, Tech 9 come downstairs, you know what I mean? Got the motherfucking high top, I mean, wild ass high top, like crazy ass shit going. He come downstairs and shit, what's up, you know what I mean? And we instantly start kicking it, you know what I mean? And after we done with our session, QD3 like, man, let me play you my artist. This nigga right here, his name Tech 9. He go. I said, okay, let's check him out. And they got these stage shows and they going crazy. He dressed up and shit. This before he was doing the paint faces, but he had the red hair and shit. He was going crazy, big ass hair. He going crazy, spitting hella fast. I'm like, oh shit. Then they pulled up the Wake Up show. You know what I mean? He was on that motherfucker going crazy. I'm like, this nigga is bananas. You know what I mean? So we just started kicking it from there, man. And he was living in LA at the time, and I just picked him up in the range and, you know, just get him out the house. You know what I mean? And we'll go hit LA and tear that motherfucker up. So we became real close homeboys. You know what I mean? He went back to Kansas City and shit, and we just kept it lit. And we made a song called Killers on the Payroll before he went back to Kansas City. We threw him on that. Like, we need this nigga on the album. You know what I mean? That time I had Fastball Cellini, Mad Max, you know what I mean? Papa LQ, you know, niggas who I hang with in LA. We didn't have the regime yet, you know what I mean? Now, this right after Pac died, we made Killers on the Payroll. And I'm like, we need this nigga named Tech 9 on this motherfucker. He crazy. So this is the first time I record with Tech. He get on that bitch and spank it. You know, then right after that song, you know what I mean? We like, shit, we need to be a crew. You know, Pac got the Outlaws, man. You know, and so many of my niggas in my crew was affiliated with the Outlaws, but they couldn't be outlaws. They wanted to be outlaws bad, but nigga, Pac chose an outlaw. You can't be an outlaw without, you know, Pac making you an outlaw. I'm like, fuck that. We make our own crew. You know what I mean? The regime. And, you know, I came up with the shit watching war movies and shit. You know, the regime is like the new government, the regime. You know what I mean? The new government, the new takeover. So I'm like, we the regime, the new takeover. I came up with the logo and shit. And shit, and the niggas that's on Killers on the Payroll, you know, plus a few more, yeah, we became the regime, period, after that session. So yeah, when I seen Tech 9 at QD3 house, nigga, I knew that nigga was out of here. And I was mad. We all was mad that the public, you know, wasn't really grabbing onto it. You know what I mean? They was thinking that he was a devil worshiper or some shit like that. Like, no, this nigga loves God. This nigga's the nicest nigga ever. I ain't never seen a nigga with a Ouija board, none of this shit y'all say. So once he finally got super on with trap and strange music, I'm like, about time, my nigga. Give my nigga his roses, my nigga. Because I've been saying, nigga, I put him up against Jay-Z any day. Back in the day, I was saying that shit. So I'm glad my nigga finally getting his roses. I'm glad the world really know how dope he is. And yeah, man, like that nigga been dope since I met the nigga in 96.
Who's someone that got away that you almost signed that you wish you would have?
All of them. All of them, man. I mean, hella people, man. But it was so much different type of, you know what I mean, litigation in my paperwork with my joint venture. I didn't want to bring nobody over there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I could have had Filthy Rich. I could have had Stevie Joe. I could have had The Team, Clyde Carson. I could have had, who else I could have had, man, I had Lil Jamal from Illegal.
Really?
Well, yeah, I had him for a hot second, but he had just got lost. He had just got in trouble and started going to jail, and I lost contact. But I had Lil Jamal from Illegal. I could have had who else, man?
Man,
shit,
he was nice. He was nice.
Yeah, I could have had Little Mo.
That Illegal album was beyond decent.
Lil Mo, when we did High Maintenance, she wanted to be the first female to regime. So
wow,
that's a shameless plug. Lil Mo was supposed to be in the regime. Who else I could have had? Mr. Fab, you know what I mean? Like I could have had Fab, you know what I mean? That was my cousin. Hella people, man, and it was like, wow, you know what I mean? I just didn't have the option in my deal because the deal I had, whoever signed to me was automatically signed to the big label. When I left the big label, they were still signed there. So I was on my way out, and I didn't want niggas to be stuck when I'm leaving. You know what I mean? So that's what kind of slowed shit down. But I miss a lot of dope-ass Bay Area artists, period. It's more than that. I just can't remember them all right now. But yeah, man.
All right, well, shit, man, let's end it with this. You know, that sounds like you took a lot on your back over the years. You've definitely been involved in, you know, a stressful industry, stressful lifestyle at points, I'd imagine. But yeah, you've always seemed to be so upbeat and maintain such a calm demeanor. So outside of smoking, what advice would you give somebody on how to maintain a smooth disposition?
Oh man, J.Prince always gave me this, as far as rappers and niggas who do music. J.Prince gave me this advice. Don't be so serious with every song you make. Make music. You know what I mean? Now the people, they gonna either like it or love it or hate it, you know what I mean? Whatever. But don't be so like this song is it or that song it. Let the people say what song is it, or let the people say what's a hit. Your job is just to make music, period. Don't be so caught up on one song, man, because it's a million more to make. You know, you get, even if that's the one, you still got to follow it up with more. So he taught me not to be so emotionally attached to it. Like, I get mad, like, nigga, it'd be songs that we won't put on the album. I'd be so emotionally attached to it because of the story, but the beat probably was whack. I mean, I'm not listening to the beat. I want the story to get out there. And Jay,
like I snap on that point. That's all you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I just know the story. And then the motherfucker, like, the beat is whack. This ain't going on the album. I'd be so attached to it. Like, nah, this need to be out there. And Jay, like, bro, you can't be emotional with this music shit. We make a million songs. We're going to choose the top shit. So don't be emotional with your music, man, period. That taught me how to calm down a lot besides smoking weed. Just do music. Just do fly music, man. Don't go in the studio like I'm going to make something for the radio. Just make something for y'all. You know what I mean? Something for your neighborhood, something for some saying that y'all do. And that's going to become so popular that it hits the radio. You can't go in there not saying your cuss words and trying to, you know what I mean? No, say all your fucking cuss words. You know what I mean? If it's a hit, you'll come back and blurt the shit out. So yeah, stop being so emotional with your music when you make it. You know what I mean? Because niggas, if you're a real musician, you can make 1,000 of those. Period. So that's what I learned from J.Prince. So I give it up to up and coming artists that's stressed out about making fucking music. You know.
Man, that's wise words, brother. Definitely find all Yukmouth music, Looney's music on all digital streaming platforms.
Definitely.
Where do they go to get them physical? I know you still got a lot of merch and physical copies.
Oh yeah, man. Go to smokealotrecords.com for all the physical copies, the merch, you know what I mean, all the shit, you know, all the show dates and shit, everything, man. Smokealotrecords.com.
You the real Yukmouth on all socials, right?
Yeah. Follow me on the gram at Regime General, REGIME General on the gram, on Twitter, the Real Yukmouth, THA Real Yukmouth. And yeah, man. Oh yeah, shit, a new one, man. I'm on YouTube now, man. You know what I mean? With fucking Smoke A Lot Radio, man. So follow me on YouTube at Yukmouth TV. Subscribe to your motherfucking guy. Yada da.
All right, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you, brother.
Good shit, my G. Have a good one.
You too, man. Take a life.
Yada da.
Going on, this is your man Ryan Hollins, former 10-year NBA veteran, ESPN, CBS analyst, and I got a special shout out to you guys. A big special shout out, man. My guys, my brothers, my family, you know what time it is. Mark, Waldo, Ward, and G from the shop, you know what time it is, guys. The new podcast, SDE, on the Big Facts Network. You heard that. SDE on the Big Facts Network has everything you need to know about men, basketball, music, all that good stuff. In a bag of chips, okay? It's available on YouTube and all DSPs. You know what? Listen to these guys. They're educational. They're informative. They're funny. It's swagger. Just a fella sometimes, you know? So shout out to you guys. Big fans. I appreciate your work. Keep it up, guys.
Mark, Waldo, Ward, LAZ, you heard? Pottersville, Brownsville, Brooklyn, DC was good. The Big Fact Show, a.k.a. the Super Fact Show, where you get them super facts about the rap game. Nigga, tune in.
Yo, what's up, man? This is $2 Fabo, Bank Fabo, and shouts out to the Big Fat Show, man. Hey, Mark Ward, man, the podcast, the Big Fat Show got its first 100,000 subscribers. Hey, man, congratulations to y'all. And for anybody who looking at it, this show is right now on Spotify, Apple, and all DSPs. Oh, what's happening there? Pharaoh!